Hi, I'm Jess.
And I'm Hugo. Welcome to OK's Love Island Dumping Debrief.
Some of the things have maybe not been portrayed, how it actually happened, and obviously that's part of the TV show, like, you expect that.
That's why there were so many questions when we came out of, as to if we're together, what's going on.
Are you guys still together? Thank you for being here. How are you finding post-Love Island life?
It's been nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so full on in there with all the cameras and things like that, and you know, the pressure to get to know someone and be just a lot going on. So getting out, it's nice to just go at our own pace and enjoy what's to come, really.
Yeah, it's been insane, like, to come out and like everybody know who you are. Because obviously when you're in that bubble, it's kind of like easy for you to forget that there's millions of people watching you every night. It's like coming out and like people coming up to us in the street and stuff and being like, Jess, you go, it's amazing, but it's also like a really weird feeling, because when you've gone into that like so normal and just like living day-to-day life, to then come out and people come up to you and say lovely things, it's overwhelming, but it's lovely at the same time.
I can imagine. But at the same time, it must be weird for you to be walking around in real life and then you're like, where's the camera? Because you were in there so long.
I mean, the thing is though, for me, when anyone asks a question, I'm like, it became so normal to me that I actually didn't think the cameras were there. Like, there'd be the odd time you'd be having a conversation and like, the wooden slat would like go and you'd just see a cameraman pop out. But it got to the point where I was just like, you could just ignore them, which is probably not a good thing. But you do forget they're there.
Yeah. I guess the question that's on everyone's lips at the moment, are you guys still together?
Yeah. We're still seeing each other.
Yeah, we were having this conversation today, basically, because there's all sorts of names for it, isn't there? It's like exclusive. I don't really get it. Like, if you're seeing someone, you're seeing someone. So yeah, we're just sort of
seeing
going at our own pace, just seeing each other.
What's the plan then? Because it must be really weird to be basically on a holiday together, and now I take it you're going to go back to your respective homes. Like, what's the plan?
Yeah, we went out last night doing like our little first date, which was nice. It's just we've spent a lot of time together, like, even though we've been like, it's quite nice, I suppose, for me, like, it's nice because even though you're away from your family, you're then also spending time with somebody that you know as well. I know we're still getting to know each other, but it's quite nice to still be able to spend time with someone that you've spent that like you've been in that experience with.
Like,
so for me, it has
so
been nice.
So much time together in there, and since we've been out, we've been together the whole time.
Yeah.
Obviously in London all week, just doing these sort of things and
going out,
drinking too much.
Yeah. Hungover, but obviously we've got we've got so much going on this week, but then I'm going to go back home for a few days. I know you're going away, aren't you, with work? So it's kind of like we will have times apart, which I think will be quite good as well for us. But then we'll obviously just make the most of it when we do get to see each other.
You know, we'll find the time.
Perfect. How have you found it being out? Have you watched it back yet?
I've only watched, like, literally, it's been so crazy that you've not had time. I've watched a few of the clips on Instagram, and then there's been like certain things that I've like made things to be like, right, I want to go and watch that one, like the heart rate challenge, things like that I wanted to see. But for most part, I've not actually seen much of it. It's just hard. There's so many episodes, especially for me. Like, there was so many episodes that I was in, and it's like, how do you know which ones you want to watch? Maybe there'll be a time where I can sit down and watch them all, but not at the moment.
It's a lot to catch up on.
I think because obviously we've lived it, we know the experience for firsthand. So obviously watching it, you're going off how they've edited it and things like that, and obviously finding the time to do it. I did watch like my entrance into Casa. I just don't want to watch any of the kissing stuff.
I think you do want to, like, for me, it'd be interesting to actually watch it, because obviously some of the things have maybe not been portrayed, how it actually happened, and obviously that's part and parcel of a TV show. But I think it would be quite nice to sit back and watch things and then be like, actually, but the thing is, you can't change it. Like, it's been edited, that's the way it's been put out there. But I think it would be interesting for me, with some of the situations I was involved in there, to kind of see how to edit and maybe understand why people have some of the perceptions that maybe they do. But again, you're not going to be able to change people's opinions, because that is what's been put out there. But I know what the real situations were.
Yeah. Well, on that note, obviously, I don't know if you heard, but the clashes between you and Harriet received a few ofcom complaints while you were on the show.
Yeah.
What have you made of it from your point of view?
Yeah, I mean, from my point of view, like, me and Harriet actually had some amazing times together, and I think it wasn't necessarily shown like that. Obviously, every series, there's usually a triangle of some sort, and it's usually the girls that are going at each other. And I think we did give as good as we got with each other. I think the difference with me, I am quite strong, like, I'm very strong, like, things don't tend to, they might upset me, but I might not necessarily get upset or be shown to be getting upset. And I think that's maybe where we seem to come across quite different in that sense, which is fine. But I just think it's a shame, really, that that's kind of the way it was portrayed. But I get it. But that's not taken away that we did actually have some like wonderful times with each other. We're just very different people, and on the outside, I probably wouldn't be friends with her. But in there, you do make relationships, and you make up like sisters do, and things like that. So yeah, it is what it is. And I think with the whole Ofcom thing, if there was something bad happening and I was not behaving the way I should behave, I wouldn't have been allowed on that TV show. So I think that's really important to remember, that it's edited in 45 minutes. And if I wasn't behaving or was being as mean as what people were saying, then I wouldn't have been allowed to stay in there.
Yeah, we do only see 45 minutes of 24 hours. Have you been in touch with Harriet and Ronnie since you've been out?
I've not, personally.
I wished him a happy birthday today.
Did you?
That's nice of you.
I've not met him, though, no.
Did they reply?
Yeah, you replied.
Yeah.
I think he followed you on Instagram, didn't he? Did you say?
Yeah. We followed each other. Obviously, I never met Harriet or Ronnie, so I only saw what everyone else saw on the TV. So you know, I'll take him firsthand for when I first meet him. But I'm sure they're both all right.
Yeah, Ronnie's like me and Ronnie get on really well as well. Like as friends, me and Ronnie get on really well. Like we've got very similar personalities. So yeah, I've got nothing but nice things to say about the both of them. Obviously, you just don't always get on with everyone in life, and that's just the way it is, I guess.
And how was it in there? Because obviously you're sort of stuck with everyone in this villa. If romances don't work out, you're kind of forced to get over them really quickly, like we're seeing with Mimi and Ayo at the moment.
Yeah.
How was that for you, having to then move on from Ronnie and that whole situation?
I think for me, like, I obviously, with the recoupling speech, I decided to walk away from Ronnie in that sense because I was being treated in a way that I wouldn't have been allowed to be, someone to treat me on the outside. So for me, like, it was absolutely fine. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a bit awkward seeing someone that you've been coupled up with being exactly how they were with you with somebody else, but that's part of the TV show. Like, you expect that. And I think you have to just I've got thick skin, like, you have to just kind of get over it. And I think for me, with Ronnie, it was more of a personality thing why we got on so well. Like, initial attraction and, like, that kind of thing would have always been Sean from the beginning, which is why I then chose to explore that with Sean. And obviously I didn't feel that connection with him either. But I think, yeah, it is what it is. And I think with Mimi and Ayo, though, I feel like she's probably put her feelings in a box and, like, buried them, not to be resurfaced. But they're still going to be there. You can't just turn them off. You'd be lying to yourself if you did that. But obviously with her, I think she's kind of just thought the way he was treating her maybe wasn't right, and he disrespected her in the sense of recoupling, so she's kind of boxed them feelings away.
Have you been keeping up to date with everything that's going on in the villa while you're not there?
As much as we can. Do you know what I mean? We've seen
so
clips
hard.
And stuff, but I've not watched any
No,
of
I've
it.
not. I've just been going off the clips on the Instagram. Like, I watched a little one of Mimi on the terrace the other day, and I don't know if they'll end up back together. I'm really not sure.
Oh, I was really feeling for her in what will be Tuesday's episode. Oh my goodness.
I think he shut it down, didn't he? I saw a clip of him saying that it's not going to happen.
Do you know what? Mimi knows she's a queen, so she knows what she deserves. So if somebody doesn't want her, that's fine. She can move on. Someone else will. There'll be millions of people queuing up to have her, so she'll be all right.
No, definitely. Is there anything that wasn't shown on the show that you wish had been?
Yeah, I think for me, there was obviously me and Harriet, that whole situation. I wish there had been more of it shown in the sense of the good parts, but also maybe not just the negative parts from my behalf. Because I do think it was even. So that was something. But also, like, me and you, like, when you came in, like, me and Hugo spent so much time together in that last, like, the week that he was in the villa. We were together like 24/7, and that didn't get aired. I think probably because it's quite boring when people are just getting on.
Yeah, there was no
and just
drama
getting to know each
going on.
other. Yeah.
Like, especially after certain situations and conversations, you feel like it would have been more helpful to know the conversations me and Jess were having, how we resolve things, and that's why there were so many questions when we came out of, as to if we're together, what's going on, basically.
Because no one really saw that we were actually fine. Like, we had numerous conversations, even after the Ayo conversation, and we were good. Like, and that's why I'm not feeling a certain kind of way about it, because I'd moved on from it and I was aware of it. But obviously, when it's not shown, you have to come out to, like, a lot of questions, which is fine. But yeah, we're in a good place.
Clear it up.
And at the end of the day, we have to remember we're making a TV show, and, like, where I've been in a lot of the drama throughout the entire series, like, let's all remember we're in a TV show. We're asked to have certain conversations that naturally are going to potentially cause drama, and that's what we're all in there for, as well as trying to find somebody. So yeah, I think when you start maybe saying, actually, I'm quite happy just doing what I'm doing with the person that I'm coupled up with, that doesn't really necessarily prove for a good TV show.
And Hugo, I wanted to ask you, because obviously you came in Casa Amor.
Yeah.
What was it like moving from Casa Amor to the main villa? Like, do you get to take in as much stuff in your suitcase? Like, what and how do you physically travel there?
initially in Casa, we got one suitcase. So I took 2 suitcases out to Mallorca with me. They said, pick all your favourite stuff in one suitcase. Half of that stuff got strobed on the camera, so I couldn't wear it.
No.
So it was like selection of eBay stuff, and then going into the main villa, got up both cases, and they give you like your main case. There's a lot of waiting around, obviously, because the whole filming of the recoupling takes a while. So you have like your queue to go in with Jess, like it was sort of just you're in, like go for it. And you travel in. What did we go in? Like a little taxi or something.
Yeah, we were like separate.
We were separate, and then I was waiting for probably, it was about an hour and a half, 2 hours, until they said, right, it's your turn to go in. I travelled there with Blade, because obviously me and my boy, we were there from the start, left together. But it was just, a bit start and stop, and then when you go in for the recoupling, it's all real then, do you know what I mean? You see the villa, it's a lot bigger than Casa, way bigger, and then you meet all the OGs, But it was nice. I enjoyed it.
That's so interesting. I have heard strobing, which is where a piece of clothing, because of its pattern, causes a reaction on camera. I have heard that's been a big problem.
Yeah, it was a nightmare. So like all of us girls, I think there's been loads of comments like all the girls keep resharing outfits, like get your own outfits. We had no clothes. Like 90% of our stuff was strobed off, to the point where like we were like, eBay, you have to come and find us clothes. And then we were getting told by the boys, good, like you all need your own like fashion, like we don't all be wearing the same thing. It was like, we have nothing to wear, like we actually have nothing. And like, every time like a new person came in, we was like, what can we rob from your wardrobe? Literally. But it was a nightmare. Like I wish I'd have known before going in, because I would have like changed my outfit choices so much. But I think everyone still looked amazing, and we all just re-wore the same outfits.
Well, Lucy spoke to us, and she said that also there was a problem with red. Sometimes red outfits cause strobing, which isn't, usually it's just mesh.
I didn't know if it was red. I think, because I know Maya was wearing, so on the night of the recoupling when Casa came in, Maya was wearing red. So I know that I think Emma wanted to wear red, and she was like, you can't wear it, because Mimi wanted to wear red as well. So they were like, oh, maybe it's a strobing situation, but obviously we now know it's because Maya was wearing it. And interestingly, on my press and profile day, I was going to wear a red dress, and he was like, oh no, you can't wear red. And I was like, who's wearing red? Which one is it? But it was actually Maya in her press pictures, so we let her off. But I think it's just more to do with that we're not clashing with Maya on some of the outfits.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. If you're going to be told you can't wear an outfit for anybody, it's got to be for her, because she's so stunning.
Exactly. Did you get to spend much time with her? Obviously, we saw when she came in with for the recouplings.
You don't spend much time with her. Obviously, the recoupling, she just comes and goes. But obviously, we went on After Sun on Sunday just gone, and then had a good chat with her afterwards. She's lovely.
When she does come into the villa though, like it's funny, because obviously she can't really say too much, but like when she has a moment, she's like, I really want to speak to you all look amazing, but I'm not really allowed, I've just got to crack on and do my job. But then she'll just say like funny comments, like if she'll get her words wrong, and it just makes her feel more normal, because she'll get some lines wrong and stuff, but she's a proper laugh. From the times we did spend with her, she's like, oh, you look fit today, and I always used to ask where her clothes were from. But yeah, the short time we did get to see her, she's absolutely lovely and proper down to earth.
She's just broken up with Stormzy.
I know. Can you cope with that?
No.
I saw it this morning. I'm really sad about that.
I'm really sad about that.
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask you guys, what surprised you the most about doing the show in terms of, I guess, things you didn't expect?
I think for me, like, I didn't expect for there to be so many people there to kind of help. Like, there was so many people in like terms of like the crew that you didn't think would be there. Like you had villa producers, like the runners, all of them that were like there to help you. And it was amazing, because you never kind of felt like you were on your own. And like everybody was so lovely. Like if they weren't lovely, I wouldn't have ever done it. And I always got good vibes off them from like to begin with. But going in there, I think I was shocked at how like incredible everyone was. And even like with the crew, like I've made some real friends that I never thought I would make, like on the opposite side of it, and they're just all lovely. I don't know about you, but that's kind of for me.
The crew are absolutely lovely. Like they make you feel at home. They're all so happy all the time. What else surprised me? How good looking everyone was. Also, how tall all the boys were. Like, I'm 6'2", and I walked in there like third smallest. And I thought I hit the gym quite hard before I went in, but clearly not. When I saw those boys, they were massive.
But don't you think all the boys in Casa this year, all of them had incredible bodies?
Yeah.
And not to say they weren't last year, but I feel like the bodies on the boys this year, the girls were like, if they make it back to main villa, the main villa will actually be really upset, because no offence to them, but the bodies on the Casa boys were like 10-10.
The casting directors did well.
It's just a shame they didn't really have a look in, because all the girls were closed off.
I know.
Bless them.
I mean, who would you guys like to win?
I'd like to see, I keep saying Kieran and Nicole. I think just because their connection is very genuine. Everyone can see that. There's a lot of individuals I love in there, but I think they've got to win it.
I feel like for me, there's a lot of people been in there from the start with me, so they're all amazing. But if you was to go off like connections, it's got to be like Kieran and Nicole. For me, they're like my best friends in there, both of them. And I feel like I've kind of seen the journey they've come on from like the beginning when they used to bicker about everything and like overreact to things, whereas like now they've like learned how to deal with each other, and I think they've grown together and on their own, and it's just been really nice to see, and I hope that's kind of been shown throughout the show as well. I'm not sure, but they've definitely, like, even when we did the kissing game, I thought, oh, that's going to blow up and they're going to have a massive blaze around. They didn't. They just communicated, spoke about it and moved on. And that for me is like massive growth, because we all know Nicole usually would be like, hey, da, da, da. And the fact that she didn't do that, I just think was amazing. So yeah, I hope they win.
You and Dionte, I remember during the post-Casa Amor recoupling, sparks flew there. Do you think you'll get in touch with her and clear the air?
I think for me, I only I don't even know the girl.
Yeah.
I've literally met her for 5 minutes. Obviously, she had opinions of me, which is fine. Again, I would just say, you see 45 minutes of a 24-hour reality, and I don't need to comment on things like the way she maybe has, but she can do what she wants, and yeah, I'm not prepared to really do that. But yeah, we don't know each other to get in contact with each other. I didn't even know the girl's name when she came into Casa, so yeah, I feel like there's nothing really that needs to be said on it. Not from my behalf anyway.
No, fair enough. And what's next for you guys?
For me, I'm going to just kind of take things as they come. Like, the door's always open me to go back to what I was doing before, but I think I'm just going to enjoy this experience now and see kind of what opportunities come from it. And I think so much is happening that I'd be a fool to kind of turn all that down. But yeah, who knows? I'm not going to move out of Manchester just yet. No. Manchester, I'm a home bird. Can't move out of Manchester.
Obviously for me, I'm going to focus on my events that I run, music events and DJing in Ibiza. And then any other doors that open, I'm open to seeing what else is out there, maybe exploring other industries, but I'm not going back to sparking, I'll tell you that.
I think, thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. It's been a pleasure. And thank you for tuning in to this episode of OK's Love Island Dumping Debrief. See you soon.